Egypt, America and ancient Egypt, two lands linked by labor and empire. From the transatlantic slave trade and the toil of indigenous African
labor-built empires. Here the map of America folds into the sands of ancient Egypt, reminding us that bondage and industry have long walked together.
Empires rise on the backs of workers, on faith, and sometimes on chains. From the banks of the Nile to the fields and factories of America.
Across centuries, nations rise on the backs of laborers and dreamers. The map before us joins ancient Egypt with the United States.
America has often been called a
us
land of promise, yet its foundations were laid by hands and chains. From the ships of the Atlantic to the mills and railroads,
from the Nile
labor
to
of
the
Africans
Mississippi, empires have been built on the backs of the laboring poor. Bound by chains, yet shaping nations, their hands raised pyramids and powered
All right, shalom, shalom, yashallah. First and foremost, we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'ashim Kwakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone rule well. Special salutations to the hope of the elect, by Yahweh, the house of David, and to the scattered Israelites scattered across the four corners of the globe. Shalom to the priest, Elder Thanwan, my young priest, like my Ra, priest Gorak Kahan. All right, priest Malakbar, priest Barzal Gabar, priest Ayaf. Not priest Zakona Young, man. Shalom to your brothers and shepherds of bread camp, man. All praise to Yahweh Kudash. Hey, just wanted to get into a sit down on the times where we're going in. I know we see what's going on with these mass layoffs. I know we see a crisis going on when it comes to jobs not even hiring, and layoffs on the top of layoffs, and businesses going into bankruptcy and everything moving towards AI. This is just a lesson just to show you how this place is spiritually Egypt, spiritually Rome. And it proves it. The Most High have always been proving it. And from our apostles in Great Millstone, we've been talking about this for years. You can go back 10 years, 20 years, 25 years on how this place is Egypt, on how this place was going to collapse. And you can see a verge of that, you know? And I want to start off with a scripture. Right? This is Ezekiel 7:6. It says, "An end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come." All right. The end standing afar off on his ground with his binoculars. Been watching this place for a while. Babylon the Great, virgin daughter of Babylon, that great city, watching the end of it. Okay. And this is why we know America is spiritually Egypt. It's Sodom, it's Babylon. All right. Through our studies and our diligence, right, on prophecy. Right? This place is full of pride, right? And that's why it's on a national decline. So you got to understand that. The prophets is not just here talking, right? If you just look throughout biblical history, the Most High used the nations as a symbol, right? There was always these people were props. They had just been used. Egypt, Medo-Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, okay, Rome, right? They're just a symbol so we can see the spiritual truths of the Most High's word, as the Most High say it happens, right? When you look at Egypt, Rome, Sodom, right? All those nations represented what? Oppression, idolatry, pride, moral decay. That's exactly what they represented. Showing you that they were not able to run a society, worship the Most High, and treat the people of the Most High with decency and care and fairness. Right? So now what do we got? 2025 in modern America, right? Now, all you got to do is, for you people that's new to this, view this through a prophetic lens. Listen to the prophets, not how the message is being delivered, but listen to the message, not the tone of the message, but listen to the message through a prophetic lens, right? Just what it does when you look at the prophetic lens. Just look at it spiritually, right? Look at it economically, and look at it politically, but look at it through a spiritual lens. So what I want to get into is scripture, and I want to get into some historical symbolism. All right, I want to raise awareness, okay, to show you this national decline that's happening, and I want to warn you of an impending judgment to come. All right, so let's start off with the fact that America is spiritually Egypt and Rome, right? As you see the scripture on this picture, let's go to Revelations. Revelations 11 and 8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified." You need to understand, why is this place called spiritually Egypt and Sodom and crucified? Egypt, Mizraim, represents heavy bondage, right? This place was once workloaded. Come to America, great work, massive overtime. Work, right? That's what it was founded on. You had generations before us that worked on the factories. Then you had the corporations that built up. Then you had entrepreneurship that built up. All this is starting to become on a decline, especially because of the massive debt that's here, right? Now, whose dead bodies is lying in the streets of the great city? America is that great city. The Israelites would be them dead bodies, right? Because they don't know who they are, their identity. They lost understanding, and they started wavering in, following all these other nations. And let me get a precept to back that up. You know, some of you already know where I'm going. In Proverbs 21 and 16, it says, "The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding," right, "shall remain in the congregation of the dead." So you have no understanding, you're going to remain in the dead. And this is why Ezekiel seen those dry bones. But now it's a great awakening happening, because we're showing that the Israelites, the prophets of the Most High, is actually right. All right? The prophets of the Lord is actually right. Now, when you look at Revelations 11, right, it like I said, it describes the spiritual dead. People, they're blind to God's ways, all right? And then what does society does? What do they promote? They behave in that mirror of Sodom. Right? They got sexual immorality, idolatry, okay? All right? And Egypt represents that oppression, that hierarchy, all right? Ritualistic, that's what they do, rituals all day. Look at Hollywood, right? Nothing but rituals, systems, all right? In this place, America, it shows similar patterns, all right? It's very high on sexual immorality, right? Damn orgies everywhere and sex parties. All right. It's like very occultive. You know, you got Satan groups out here. You have many occults out here, right? Especially in those places, unholy practices, right? And even if you look at the government, right, it resembles what, like how Rome's, the Senate and pharaohs, you know, how pharaohs rule, and then you got the Senate, the government, you know, that hierarchical governance. So now we understand symbolically that even in America, they have these monuments like the obelisk, the pyramid that you see on the dollar. All right. That shows you Egyptian influences, right? And that's how we are able to know that they're reinforcing that spiritual connection to Egypt and following everything on their way. So now we're going to go into some of the economic collapse that's going on. All you got to do is go on Instagram. You type in layoffs and you just listen to people break things down like that's going on. Look at this right here.
Layoffs are coming soon. I'm not trying to scare y'all, but I want you to be prepared in case you're impacted by a layoff. Now is the time to send your projects to yourself, any documentation of your performance reviews, and any great feedback or awards you've received at work. I know people who have lost access to their work the day they were laid off. Now that you have your work and accomplishments, start your resume. Let's talk about your health. Now is the time to schedule any type of doctor's appointments you've been putting off. And lastly, financially, everyone says to save 3 to 6 months. I would try to save up to a year if you can. Layoffs are coming soon. I'm not trying to
Guys, they talking about saving. That ain't gonna help you, because you saving off to a year. What happens? Hyperinflation. So what happens to the purchasing power of the dollar? You say 40,000, right? But hyperinflation goes up 3%, 4%, 5%, whatever percentage a year. You don't gain any savings, and your savings percentage is going up 1%. You're actually losing. So the dollar is actually devaluing. All right. So the purchasing power of it's like, oh my gosh, groceries, milk is $7. Yeah, but because your money didn't increase, but the milk increased. All right. So now every year you're losing that power to purchase. So it's going to take more dollars to purchase the things that you need, which you're actually going to lose. So who also is at stake here? Veterans, people that have retired, right? Because you're retiring, you're saving your retirement check. There's no increase on that. That stays at the same purchasing power. It's not going up with how everything else is going up. So these guys is playing one big game on your mind, making it seem like you're doing well when really this whole place is on the decline, so that he can implement the MOTB, all right? The RFID microchip, right? Which is the mark of the beast. He wants to implement that new system, that new world order, you know?
If I got laid off today, here's exactly what I would do next. From
See, these
somebody
guys
who's
give
both
you
been
false hope what you would do next.
There is no such thing as a stable job in 2025. If we have learned anything from 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025, it's this. I don't care if you've been at your company for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, you can lose your job at any time. I recently heard about someone that got laid off after 30 years via an email, no notice, they weren't expecting it, and they were locked out of their...
And why is that? Because AI is doing these jobs that you went to school, get 35,000 degrees for. AI is getting jobs for it. A matter of fact, I believe brother posted how CBS laid off all the Jakes, or so-called so-called blacks. They got laid off, but the so-called white people was able to keep their jobs. If that don't show you that you guys are the Israelites, man, you guys are still trying to defend this place. You know why? Because you love it, because it allows you that freedom to sin. And that's why you guys want to love it, and you want to live it in its fullness in the flesh.
And they were locked out of their system. That is how 2025 is. And guys, these companies that are laying people off, it's not because they're not doing well. A lot of them are having record-breaking years, but it's not enough. And the easiest way for them to make more money is to cut expenses. And the biggest expense is me and you, humans, human employees. And guys, anytime I've done these videos in the past, everybody jumped into the comments and was like, no, government jobs are stable. Well, guess what? Now that isn't even stable. Guys, that should be a huge wake-up call. Because when you look at the jobs report, each month there's been 30, 40, 50,000 government jobs being added. Everybody thought it was stable. It's like real estate.
I remember that. Oh, get you a government job. Government contracts. They're giving out money. You know? And that's what they were doing, though. See, they was doing these things, wheeling people in, getting people comfort. Scriptures tell you a gift destroyeth the heart. He was giving out gifts, destroying your judgment on this place. And a lot of you was like, oh, yeah, Trump, he's going to bring all the jobs back. He's the money man. He's good for business. You know, but really he's there to just tear you niggas down. Right?
Real estate. Everybody thought it was going to last forever. And then suddenly, a few months later, everybody is getting laid off. That should be the warning sign. So if you have a job, number one, I'd be expecting to get laid off. I would make sure that you are getting your resume prepared, start networking, maybe start a side hustle, have a backup plan.
Nobody says you need to return to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Nobody's saying that. What was the problem the Most High had with Pharaoh? He said, let my people go so they can come serve me. They was in heavy bondage in Egypt. It was to let them go so you can serve the Most High, work for the Most High. Everyone is looking for a backup oppression job. So it shows you the mindset of these people. They're slaves, they're servants, and they really are robots, you know. And that's why AI can easily come learn from you robots and replace you niggas.
Have a backup plan, because I literally don't care. Even if you're the CEO of the company, you can get laid off. The board of directors could be like, we're done with you. You're laid off. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're part of a company that is there to generate profit, there is a great chance you are going to be laid off. So be prepared. Stop being naive.
And so it begins, y'all. Everybody was warned this shit was gonna happen. And now we're seeing it in real time. UPS just laid off 48,000 people, y'all. 48,000 people just lost their job. And you know how hard it is to get a job right now? What are these people gonna do? I'm hearing they didn't even have a time to find another job. They just got the yeah, I'm sorry, we gotta let you go. Y'all seen other jobs doing the same shit. Major cuts. Amazon, Starbucks, Nike, you name it. And they say it's because of efficiency. But let's be real. AI has been taking over. And this is the takeover. We are watching a new world unfold right in front of our eyes. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The only job that might be safe is the ones you create for yourself. Other than that,
that's it. You know? Look, more tech layoffs.
So all these tech layoffs in 2025 were already starting to piss me off. But what pisses me off even more is when the companies use artificial intelligence as their excuse for laying off their software engineers and developers. This reminds me about 25 years ago. When
you see that? Your software engineers, right? You know, all these tech jobs that was coming in, everybody felt they was in a good case. Now, boom. Hey, sorry, we're going to have to lay you off, because AI don't need a break. It don't need to take vacation. It don't have sick days. It don't get stuck in traffic. Yeah, we got to let you go. That's what's going on.
Software engineers and developers. This reminds me about 25 years ago when I was an IT director at a large company, and every time they laid people off, they used the excuse of the new computer system we were developing as why they didn't need people anymore. Well, now they're doing it.
There's nothing new under the sun. It's the same pattern that this devil used. Now he's using the scare tactics of cutting food stamps, which he may not. The article came out that a judge ruled for him to stop it, right? He just bluffing, getting everybody to go crazy. But if he does, it's still going to have a heavy impact based off the $9 billion that brings in the food industry and the trucks that's bringing them in. That's going to impact that. And then November 1st, if the government shutdown still continues on to happen, what happens is these banks, right? They're not going to be able to get paid. There's massive loans that they done pushed out. They won't be able to get paid. With that, you know, these car companies are going to be on the decline. Everybody that's leasing and loaning, you think you're going to pay for your lease? You're going to think you're going to pay for what you're financing? No, you're not paying for those things, especially you haven't been paid. So people that's companies and businesses that people are attached to on a monthly basis of making payments, credit cards, all these things is going to be on a standstill in the hold. So they're going to lose massive of money as well.
Computer system we were developing is why they didn't need people anymore. Well, now they're doing it with AI, and most of these companies that are laying off their technical developers and their software engineers, they're not using AI. They have no intention of using AI. If the way they manage their projects, there's absolutely no way they could get an AI project implemented. Let's just be honest. You mismanage your projects, and now it's the developers and the software engineers that are going to suffer.
Fucking Esau. Yeah. So, you know, all you gotta do is go in here, just type in layoffs, you'll see it, you know. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. That's all that's been going on. Layoffs. Listen to this.
Take it lightly.
This is a good information right here.
Wanted to make another quick update video. So I was talking to someone that works for a media organization, and they were like, why is no one covering what's happening with the banks right now and the repo market?
GMS Inquire Early too, posting this video. But listen to what could potentially happen if the government shutdown continues to November 1st. How much people are being affected outside of just food stamps. So even if they bring the food stamps back, and see, this is what this devil does. He threatens the food stamps when a majority of people are on food stamp, from black and so-called brown black people, right? And then you have white people that are on food stamps as well. So now is that there's a massive media there's a media bomb of people. Oh, food, the stands, millions of people is not going to be able to eat. Then you got people, oh, donation, help people, single family, single mothers. Meanwhile, in the background, what's not being talked about is that even if he turns the food stamp back on, right, he has bombed the internet so much to the point where if the government shutdown continues and these workers, that the air traffic control, these federal workers are not paid, the millions of them, they're not going to be making payments on banks, like we was talking about earlier, car loans, leases, rent, finances, credit cards, anything that's attached, which is still going to cripple the system, right? That's not being talked about.
And I was like, well, if you cover that, it's going to immediately cause a run on the banks, and it is going to cause a decline in the stock market. But here is the seriousness of what is happening right now that I explained to this individual. So as you have noticed, in 2 weeks, the banks have borrowed $50 billion in emergency liquidity that was not accessed anywhere near those levels last year. That right there is an indicator we have a serious issue. And then on top of that, if you look at the borrowing that was done by this, but today on the repo market, 8 billion of it was mortgage-backed securities versus treasuries. So I give you the pawn shop analogy. When you need to go get quick cash, a diamond ring is a treasury. That's like a $100 bill, right? You give that as collateral and you get back cash. Mortgage-backed securities are garbage. It's a stack of IOUs on the backs of people's mortgages that aren't even being paid right now. So what you guys need to understand, billions and billions and billions of dollars of direct deposits, government funding to contractors, none of that is happening. So none of this liquidity is going into the banks. Worse yet, because a lot of individuals work for the government and work for the military, they cannot pay loans back. So they can't pay car loans, they can't pay credit cards, they can't pay mortgages. That's how banks get cash back. So if banks are not getting direct deposits from the government and no funding from any government source at this point in time, and they're not receiving paybacks on loans, and all that's happening is people are taking cash out. They're taking cash out of their various banks to cover rent, to cover mortgage, to cover car loans. That's why this November 1st date is so fucking dangerous, because car loans are due on the 1st, mortgages are due on the 1st, credit cards are due on the 1st. And so all the direct deposits that are not showing up from the federal government workers to contractors to any other agency that's not getting paid. I don't know about the military yet. I still don't know if they were able to come up with the $9 billion, but let's say that doesn't happen either. Now the banks are out billions and billions and billions of dollars, and they're not getting any loan repayments coming in. So what do I think's going to happen next week? And it clearly looks like the shutdown will go into next week. I think there might be very well a run on some of the smaller banks. I've heard reports, I don't know how true they are, but some individuals are having trouble, especially trying to get out large sums of cash.
Okay, and we're not ignorant of Satan devices, man. This is saving money. Trump, I believe, invested 500 billion or million, I believe, into AI. Saving money to stack up on weapons for this World War III. All right. The left wing versus the right wing. Okay, Democrats are saying, look how cruel this man is. He's not feeding you guys, and he's shutting you down, he's taking your check away. And this is going to give the Republicans a reason to be like, oh, these people is going to riot. We need more military presence. We need more National Guard. So this is all part of his big one scuba diving game that he does, right? Or bring order out of chaos, But that's one aspect of it. And you look at videos like this, be ready for American crisis, cost of living crisis. People can't afford to live.
Wait, Powell stepping down? Nah, he's staying put.
What happens when the richest country can't feed its own people?
Yeah.
I've compiled 11 TikToks showing something deeply in food. The hardest.
We can't feed our children. Our children's classmates go to school hungry. Their parents don't have snacks in cupboards. Their refrigerators are empty.
Good content.
They count how many days they eat on the road so they can save that one fucking snack for a Friday night when they get home from school. And you're asking us why we're not having children? You have taken away every opportunity for us to make sure our children are thriving, healthy. Kids are hoarding food because they don't know when the next time they're gonna fucking have it. Mothers are stealing formula from...
And you know who's suffering the most from this? The so-called minorities, people in the low-income housing, people that make less money. Why? Because he don't want you to populate. So why would he give you an abundance of life where you gonna want to give it to your children? No, you're so hard on you ain't gonna want to bring no kids into the world. That's his goal.
That is $53 a fucking can. It's a specialty formula because mom, unfortunately, with all the stress she has to live through, can't fucking produce milk because she's stressed out.
And so-called Caucasian people, the death to born birth ratio is low. They're dying more than they're making babies,
But if I fucking have one more baby, everything I have established now will fucking fall apart. You don't think I want to see another little baby running around in my house? I would fucking love to. My kids would suffer because of the daycare.
Is preventing mothers down.
3 weeks ago, I was sending out over 100 resumes. I've had one interview. I didn't get the job. I knew I blew it. I did not get the job. I'm trying. The only reason why I got a server job is to make some money while I'm trying to get my big girl job again so I can get checks that actually matter, so I can make money.
And Eve, you're going to feel it, especially you independent women. Oh, we've been independent, chose the corporate world. I don't need a man. You guys are going to feel it bad, man. The rise of Isaiah 4:1 is the ultimate rise. A man shall be as a gold is an ultimate rise, right? And the Most High is just... prophecy is coming, it's happening.
I can actually live off of, but nobody calls. Nobody's calling for these jobs. Indeed is, we're hiring, where? Okay, because I sent my resume and I can't afford anything, okay? I live with my son and his roommates right now, and I'm very thankful for that, but I need my own place and I can't afford it. I can't afford anything. I cannot afford to live here anymore. And I can't take my own life. So what am I supposed to do?
She made $50 for 6 hours of work. That's $8.33 an hour, below the minimum 15% people.
And go get a job if she wants to eat in November. Yeah, some of y'all are on this fucking app and on the interwebs with your whole motherfucking chest talking about how fucking amazing it's gonna be to finally not have people sucking off the tit of the system. Did you ever stop to think about the fucking elderly people? My tenant makes $800 a month in Social Security. We charge her $500. She has $300 a month left over to fucking pay for her heat, her power, her cell phone, whatever the fucking else necessities that a little old fucking lady needs. But now...
All right, well, let her live for free then, you damn... you care so much. Let her keep the whole $800. Show some hospitality. Let her live for free. Hey, the scriptures talk about how you treat the poor, man. You let them in your house and, you take care of them, man. Until they get up on their feet.
Now she's gonna have to figure out if she needs to heat her house or fucking feed her belly. That also goes for children, you fucking monsters. Children are going to go hungry every fucking day because of decisions that Donald Trump and his administration are making. Yeah, poor people, clutch your fucking pearls. People working their...
But yeah, it's a lot of content on here. You guys can watch it. I want to get into some scriptures. Let's get into some articles and some scriptures. I want to get into Isaiah, right? Because when we look at Isaiah 8:19, and this is in the NLT, Isaiah 8:19 and 8. It says, the fishermen will lament for lack of work. This is talking about Egypt, man. When you look at it on the top, it says, this message came to me concerning Egypt. Lord, look, the Lord is advancing against Egypt, riding on a swift cloud. The idols of Egypt tremble. The hearts of the Egyptians melt with fear. Verse 2, I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city, province against province. Why is that? Because that's what you see happening now. Russia, Ukraine, America, then you got the Republicans, the Democrats, all these people are Edomites, the Caucasian race, the same. All right, these are the modern day Egyptians. And the Most High is letting you know he's the one that placed that upon them. Right? Let me go back to verse 8. It says, the fishermen will lament for lack of work. Those who cast hooks into the Nile will groan. And those who use net will lose heart, right? They're going to lose their mind. They're not going to be able, you see her? Nobody's, we not our children. They're going crazy. They're losing their mind. While the men of the Lord is just calmly just continue prophesying as the Most High starts to bring the famine on the word, establish this MOTB, okay, and and build brother's spirit up. But the rest of these people are going to realize that they never was moving. They was delusional. They never was walking in an upright society. They never was walking in a society that things were normal. We always seen the chaos. They're now finally going to see the chaos because the Most High is going to peel the veil back, all right? And now they're going to realize, oh, shit, it's chaos. And they're going to lose it because there's nothing that they're standing on, right? It says, there will be no flax, no harvesters, no thread for the weavers. They will be in despair, and all workers will be sick at heart. You see? They're going to be sick at heart because there ain't going to be no work. Ain't going to be no work. All that is going to be done. All right? Let me get Ecclesiastes real quick. Scriptures that we know. Ecclesiastes 12:4 says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when you know what? Let me start at 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So you got to remember the Most High now in your youth, while you have your wits together, not when you are just overloaded with a whole bunch of distractions and delusional responsibilities in this world and cares of this world. You got to remember the Lord and establish that relationship now. Verse 2, while the sun or the moon, or while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. And you got November 5th, one of the most super moons that's supposed to happen November 5th. The brightest moon has ever been. Right? I believe it's called a beaver waver or beaver something. If you guys can look it up. Verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. Don't this look like windows that's being darkened?
Ball sacks
when you hear these people?
2 fucking jobs who's still hiring for. So I made a. Oregon told them, what did I do?
Don't it look like people that's darkened? Right?
I remember after that first Pomp episode, I remember coming back, we're in Miami, I went back home, I woke my wife up and I said, babe.
On food, homelessness of fish.
Y'all, I'm parked in front of Dollar Tree because I'm about to go in there and get some essentials. But before that, I honestly just had like the only crash out because I had stopped to get gas, right? And I'm really in a place in my life where I'm really budgeting my fun. And as much as I try to be positive sometimes, like it's really hard. It's really hard to be in a financial like survival mode when you don't know what your next move is. You don't know where your next resource is coming from because it fucking makes you hypervigilant. And like when you're hypervigilant, like you can't relax, your brain can't shut off and you can't.
That's darkened, man. They looking out the window, it's darkened, right? Verse 4, and the door shall be shut in the street when the sound of grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. The daughters of music brought low. Ain't no more singing, man. No more clapping your feet. No more loud voices. Just sorrow and mourning, man. All right, because this is hell. But let me go to an article I wanted to bring out, because in this article right here, right? You guys can copy the article and see it. Mass layoffs, full list of companies cutting thousands of jobs. Right? Now when you look at modern day America, right, it mirrors these prophecies, right? When you look in this article, thousands of workers are being laid off. And this is across multiple industries. This is in 2025. And what we use as the Most High is to highlight. We're highlighting that systematic economic, the economic instability of this place, man. The economy is done. The economic instability is being shown. That you trusted in Egypt, you trusted in work, you trusted in oppression. Like the scriptures, trusted in work, trusted in Egypt, man. Why? So let's see. It says, I ain't gonna read the whole thing. You guys can look it up. A number of companies across sectors such as retail, tech, and telecommunications are in the process of laying off thousands of American workers. Several firms have in recent weeks announced plans to significantly trim their headcount. Spurned by company-specific factors, but against the backdrop of an increasingly precarious economic situation and the rise of automation and artificial intelligence. And this is what they want to make the excuse as. But this is really biblical prophecy. Trump needs to come out and say, listen, I'm Pharaoh, I'm Nero, and I'm oppressing the Most High's children of Israel. And this place is Sodom and Gomorrah. Babylon is on a decline and is getting ready to be destroyed by the Heavenly Father. But he ain't going to say that because he's the devil. In the U.S., the labor market have been spared the mass layoffs to match the low levels of job openings seen in recent months, with Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell describing it as a low hire, low fire economy. However, the economist Mark Zindi has told Newsweek that low levels of layoffs serve as a firewall between recession and no recession, and that fingers on a larger scale could be what pushes the country into an economic downturn. Look, roughly 14,000 positions by Amazon, 1,000 employees from Target, eliminating roughly 800 positions. This is happening, man. Denmark cuts 5,000 people. Ozempic, 9,000 positions globally. Bloomingdale's routers eliminated about 1,000. We don't need you. UPS, 48,000 as we've seen. Starbucks, 900 people. We don't need you anymore. AI gonna be making your damn caramel drizzle and lattes and frappuccinos. Hey, this is beautiful, man, because we warned you people. Y'all pinned us out to be crazy or bugged out. But we're showing you that we're actually not. Let me see if I got any more articles. Yahoo, right? Now, if you look at the Yahoo Finance report, right, it says for the first time in April 2021, right, there were more job seekers than job openings, right? That is a direct reflection of Isaiah's vision of the fallen labor system. There's more Americans out of work than there are job opens for the first time in April since April 2021. There are more unemployed Americans than job openings for the first time since 2021, according to the government data released Wednesday. You know, you guys should check this out. Check this article out. You know. So what does that mean for the people? That means that if you Israelites got to tighten up and put your trust into Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shah. And if you don't, you're going to completely fall exactly with this place and exactly what's going on. You know? Because that's what's finna happen. And there's nothing you can do about that. You know? Nothing. It's biblical prophecy to happen. All right, let's see if anything on this article. It says, unemployed workers are staying out of work for longer, even as layoffs remain low. And the economist Ellison Shrivastava told Yahoo Finances in an email. In other words, the challenge right now lies less in job security for those already employed and more in the difficulty of re-entering the labor market once they're out of it, she says. Job openings totaled 7.18 million for the month. That figure below is 7.38 million expected by a communist tracked by Bloomberg, and the 7.36 million vacancies in June. Now look at this chart. Job openings are now lower than employment. The decline in the job work. This place is through. No work for Egypt. Right? Now when you look at just like Egypt's workers, right? They were brought to despair. Now you got the modern laborers in America. They experiencing the similar, right? Disillusionment. Similar. They got insecurity, right? And they lost their purpose of work. And that all falls on what? The leadership and the fall of authority that this place has. Let's get back to some scriptures. And I got a couple of more articles that I want to get. Let's go back up now. Isaiah 19 and 11, I believe. Isaiah 19:11 said, "What fools are the officials of Zoan? Their best counsel to the king of Egypt is stupid and wrong. They will still boast to Pharaoh of their wisdom. Will they dare brag about their wise ancestors? Where are the wise counselors, Pharaoh? Trump, who's counseling you? Who's telling you to make these moves? You see who you see how these tech giants he's surrounded himself with. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, you know. Let them tell you what God plans. What the Lord of Heaven army is going to do to Egypt. The officials of Zoan are fools. The officials of Memphis are deluded." When you look at ancient Egypt, Memphis was heavy city of witchcraft, right? This is talking about they're fools, like they're deluded. The leaders of the people have led Egypt astray. These moves is not for your benefit. This man is called wasted away as he is meant to destroy everything. That's why he's meant to be destroyed. And you guys are the ones that voted for him. This is who you guys wanted. And this is what the Most High set above you, right? Isaiah 19:4. Isaiah 19:3. The Egyptians will lose heart, they will lose their mind, and I will confuse their plans. So everything that this man is planning is being confused by the Heavenly Father, by the angels, right? By demons that's on the left-hand side controlling him to do what he's doing. And then you got the angels on the right-hand side working out the prophecies of judgment to come to this place. And you got the demons that's lying to him, just like when they was like, who shall go persuade Ahab? And one said on this matter, one said on that matter, right? It says, they will plead with their idols of wisdom and call on spirits, mediums, and those who consult the spirits of the dead. And this is what they do. They're sitting there in their basement floating in the Senate House while they doing backshots with each other in orgies, blood sacrifices, pedophilia, all right? Allegedly. You know, you got to say allegedly because they don't try to take your thing down, right? Flying everywhere, turning into Dracula, allegedly, right? This is for entertainment purposes only and educational purposes. All right, YouTube? Fair use. Continuing on, it says, verse 4, I will hand Egypt over to a hard, cruel master. A fierce king will rule over them, save the Lord of hosts of heaven. Right? He's fierce. He just don't care. Like, he just like, that's his mindset. Hey, let's get this article showing you Trump. Look at this article. It says, clip, Trump's unchecked power and unapologetic impunity. His impunity, he don't fear shit. He like, yeah, I'm the man. I can do what I want to do. I'm the man. When I can feel like the man when I walk through. Right? When you look up the definition of impunity, let's get that. Impunity, freedom from punishment, omission of punishment, rashness, inconsideration, unpunished, punished, right? This is how Trump feels about himself. This is how all the elites feel. They could just do these things because they feel like the Most High not doing anything. Because the Most High is very patient, long-suffering, and this place has a time for everything to happen, right? The word, and you're not going to move and shake the Most High, right? It says, meaning freedom from punishment, penalty of punishment, you know? Now, when you look at the scriptures, right, and you look at modern examples of impunity, you can see, right, they're seeing when the leaders and officials act without accountability. They just act without ability. Like they seemingly do it above laws, right? They don't have no ethical boundaries. They don't really follow none of that, man. As much as they want to display it, they don't have any of that, right? Let's get into this article a little bit, but it says, how does a president get to knock down the East Wing? Is that even legal? By what authority does he do these things? He does. The panel discusses what legal and what's not, and just exact what Trump does. Right? So you got them going into it and speaking about it, about the article. Well, let's listen in.
I want to start with an apology. We pride ourselves here on our accuracy, but we realized very late in the day that our backdrop is no longer correct because it still features the East Wing of the White House. Let me show you where it used to be. So this right here, that was the East Wing. Now it's a hole. That's just a hole next to the White House. Over here, that's the West Wing. That's still standing as far as we know, although I'm not there right now to prove it. In the back here, you got that's the Empire State Building. And over there, that's LAX. And also we got a cold front moving in from Ohio, so break out your sweaters. Anyway, we'll fix the picture to reflect the new reality once Congress restores our funding. The list I read at the top of the show, that's not even all of the norm-busting news from this week. Tonight, our overall subject is impunity. How does a president get to knock down the East Wing? Is that even legal? By what authority does he do the things he does? Here to provide us with some insights are our guests, Peter Baker, the chief White House correspondent at the New York Times. Susan Glasser is a staff writer at the New Yorker. David Ignatius is a foreign affairs columnist at the Washington Post. And Tolu Olorunipa is a staff writer at the Atlantic. Thank you for participating in my fantasy camp. I've always wanted to do
check
the
this
weather.
article out and listen to the rest of this.
And I have a laser pointer. I'm going to call on you with a laser pointer from now on. Washington Week. You gotta love it. Challenging times call for a different approach. Peter, let me start with you. I want you to listen to something that President Trump said a few years ago. Why don't you just listen to this?
If the radical Democrats take power, they will take a wrecking ball to our economy and to the future of our country.
Now we know where the wrecking ball was.
See, Trump don't care. That's why he showed that video of him dropping poop on the No Kings March, dropping shit on everybody. He said he wanted to use the military in these areas like Chicago, D.C., and all of these areas prominently is Jake in there. He wanted to use the National Guard as target practice to practice on these people. He's just being cruel, unapologetic. He don't care, man. He's living in his kingdom. He's being who he is, Pharaoh.
Headed. So the White House is called the People's House. We send somebody there for 4 years to live in it rent-free, and then pass it on to the next person who we choose to send there. So I just don't, frankly, understand how a temporary occupant who pays no rent can just knock down a part of it without congressional approval, without anyone's approval.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Washington's a historic city, and if you try to change your door or your front yard in a lot of different parts of the city, you would have to go through a whole big bureaucratic process that would take months and months and months. Not if you're president of the United States, it turns out. You just call a demolition company from Maryland, you get them down there and whack away without telling anybody or asking.
It wasn't a government agency that took down.
No.
Well, of course, we're in a shutdown anyway.
That's right, exactly. And
So-
he says he's paying for this with private
you guys
funds.
can check out the rest. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but it's very interesting to see the mindset of these damn devils, man. But let's go back to just him feeling himself, and him being unapologetic, and not caring. Let's get that's that cruelness that he has. And this is how we process of elimination understand who these people are, Not bad. Let's see who these people are. Psalms 73:3, it says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Verse 4, for there is no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. And this is why Trump moves like that. Like the scriptures say, they're not troubled like other men. Right? It says, verse 5, they are not in trouble like other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Here's the next verse. But that shows you where the pride comes from. Verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. This is why they just can't stop but shed blood. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than a heart could wish. This is why they can do shutdowns and still live and still function. This is why hyperinflation is not affecting them. Right? They have way more than a heart can wish. They are corrupt. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Right? Oh, why you guys got to be on stamps anyway? It's too much. Oh, the working class, you need to go work. Like damn Hamites, you need to go work. Hey, don't you understand these things were strategically set up for the poor to stay poor and the rich to stay rich? Right? Verse 9. They set their mouth against the heavens, their tongue walketh through the earth. And that's what he does. Put his policies and sets legislations and U.S. embassies everywhere. Speak against the Most High. Put their satellites out everywhere in the heavens. Right? This is verse 10. Therefore his people return hither. The water of a full cup they are wrung out to them. They say, how doth God know? Where is their knowledge in the Most High? That's why he thinks it's artificial intelligence is his God that he's going to worship. They don't believe in the Most High. Verse 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verse 13. Verily I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. Right? For how long I have been plagued and chastised every morning. So we need to understand that the wicked, those that's ruling, process of elimination, those are the ones that's in this world. All right? Those are the ones that's in this world prospering, oppressing everybody. You know, killing everything off, right? Got ICE out there oppressing everyone, being terrorists, snatching and kidnapping everybody. Allegedly, all right? That and that describes the societal conditions, right? That allows his impunity to flourish, right? Because he just without punishment, I got no punishment. I can do whatever I want. And that just correlates with what? The contemporary government's failures of this place. Now let's go to I want to get another scripture showing you that pride and why the Lord's gonna bash this man. Right? You know, famous one. We know. One chapter galactical. Obadiah 1. And start at 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise, ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, though thou dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, Caucasian cave dwellers, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, no, who shall bring me down to the ground? Like impurity. You don't care. Who gonna bring me down? Who gonna bring me down when I can do stuff like this? What? Who's gonna bring me down? Right? Their leaders caused them to err. Right? When we looked at it, their leaders caused them to err. And let's look at this article right here I wanted to bring out earlier. America's leadership class is failing us. It is up to you and me to defend democracy. So the disappearance of America's leadership class is a time like this means that the rest of us have to be leaders. So you guys are failing the people, like it says right here. Right? Right? Fools, right? Look, boom. The leaders of the people have led Egypt astray. So how you talking about in this verse, who gonna bring you down? Yourself. You dig the ditch and you're gonna fall into your own pit. Right? You've led the people down. And at process of elimination, these articles go right with scriptures. Right? Trump and his goons strip Americans of their constitutional rights. Silence of the nation's leadership class is deafening. I am old enough to remember when, during the Vietnam War, universities' presidents utilized their bully pulpits to remind America of its moral center. Today, university presidents are cowed. I recently talked to one young female college president who told me point blank that university presidents have no business speaking out on public issues. Right? You can read this article showing you that the leadership is done. All right? The leaders of America's legal community, I want to keep my head down. The senior partner of a large firm told me, we have to do much to lose. The leaders of the media, they're too busy consolidating their own ownership over ever more of the nation's media and dare not to upset Trump's FCC and its Trumps today. Brennan Carl. What is their responsibility? To protect free speech? They're far more interested in maximizing the value of their shares of stocks. They done, man. The leadership is done. Ain't no leaders over here, man. It says during a crisis like the one we're in now, these so-called leaders have abdicated their moral responsibility. It's not all bad that America no longer has leadership class. True leaders doesn't necessarily require high office. It doesn't require a fancy title, right? Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and countless others who moved the world and held no formal positions of power. Their power came from the moral authority to tell the truth and mobilize them, which a lot of them was puppets. All right, they didn't tell no truth. It's the disappearance of American leadership class at a time like this means the rest of us have to be leaders. You must be a leader. Well, you got to follow first before you be a leader. And the scriptures tell you what? The teacher shall not be removed to a corner anymore. The eyes shall see thy teachers. But you guys don't want to follow the leaders that the Most High set up, and therefore it's going to be a destruction, you know. But that goes exactly with Isaiah 19 and 13, right? The officials of Zoan are fools, and the officials of Memphis are deluded. The leaders of the people have led Egypt astray, which is true. They let Egypt astray, and what happens? Verse 14: the Lord have sent a spirit of foolishness on them, so all their suggestions are wrong. They cause Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit. There is nothing Egypt can do. All are helpless. The head and the tail, the noble palm branch is lowly, and the lowly reed. Right? They became soft. In verse 16, in that day Egyptians will be weak as women. They will cower and fear beneath the uprised fist of the Lord's heaven's army. All right, and that's what's going to happen. Verse 17, just to speak the name of Israel will terrorize them. And you see that. This is why they're going to try to come cast us into prisons, right? Demonize us. For the Lord of heaven's army has laid out his plans against them. This is beautiful. Beautiful prophecy, beautiful times. But as you can see, the leadership is done. So where the hell, right, is this man's confidence coming from? Right? And, you know, he wanted to be cruel, right? And this is, look what they called him here, right? We said a cruel Lord, right? Cruel. In Isaiah 19, when the Most High say he's going to set up a cruel. Verse 4, and I will hand over Egypt to a hard and cruel master. We're going to go back to that Obadiah. I just want to show you these articles that lines up with the scriptures. Lee, Trump's cruel for ending SNAP funding. Nevada conflict for not doing more, right? So they're not gonna do it because of, but some cities are doing it. You got cities like New York, I believe, and many other cities. You can check it on the internet. That's still going against it, and they're going to do it, and they're going to use their emergency funds in order to feed the people through SNAP. But Trump administration is saying, listen, we're not going to give you back that emergency fund you use to feed these niggas, you know. But then you had 2 judges that did rule to stop against it. So whether it goes down or doesn't go down, it still caused a lot of impact on the mind. It's still, the government shutdown, if that's still going on, still caused an impact. Even if they open everything back up, the fact that it was done about 30 days, it is bleeding. This place is bleeding. It still happened, and it's still prophecy, you know. It says, Lee first called it cruel of Trump's administration to allow SNAP benefits to be at pause. There have been shutdowns in the past. Yes, she said, never before in history shutdowns on food have been cut off from millions of Americans. Donald Trump made this decision. And you didn't see, it didn't even happen yet. But this is all they focusing on, not realizing everything else that's going to be impacted, you know. But, you know, you guys can check this article out, you know, pretty interesting. But it goes right with his character as being a cruel leader, you know. Yeah, you have Halloween, Weekend Terror, you know. Be very careful out there. before we go to Obadiah, companies that announced this is Intellinas. This is just showing you different companies that announces major layoffs and freezes, right? You just check it out. 48,000 logistics. Hold on, let me see if I can stop. This is the tracker. General Motors laying thousands of workers across multiple electric vehicles and battery plants in Detroit. Paramount will lay off 2,000. UPS 48,000. Amazon 14,000. Motor vehicle. General Motors 200 salaries. Target. I met a lady that, a white lady too. She was working like at General Motors. She got laid off. Target 1,000. Major freezes, right? Look at this, man. Target, Amazon. You guys check this page out, man. It just tells you everybody that's just been laying. This is ridiculous. Spirit Airlines, Starbucks 900, Ford, BHP, Coca-Cola, Sky Group. They don't care. They let your ass go. They willing to hurt their own just to hurt the Israelites. But you can find this article at intelligence.com. Let's go back to Obadiah, right? It says, who shall bring me down? That's his mindset, right? Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou hast set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, save the Lord. And that we showed you how the Most High is definitely going to bring your wicked ass down. You saw. You got no power, man. You're a puppet. This is Isaiah 47:1. It says, come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. All right? So the impurity you feel, feeling like, you ain't going to get punished, you ain't going to be tender and delicate. Okay? Take the millstone, grind the mill, uncover the locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thighs, pass over the rivers, right? This is exposing this place, exposing Esau. Exposing America. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Right? The Most High is bringing that vengeance upon you. For our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Come sit thou silent, and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. All right? The Chaldeans dealt with heavy witchcraft. This place deals with heavy witchcrafts. These are all symbolic, letting you know that this place is Egypt, man. Verse 6, I was wroth with my people, I have polluted my inheritance, I have given them into thy hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Thou mercy upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Okay? He didn't show us mercy. He didn't show us no mercy. Completely destroyed us within and without. Right? And this is that virgin daughter of Babylon, right? That's why it's intoxicated with pride like that. And what do? Right? After they come to totally destroy us, they go complain to the Most High. See, the prophet's been warning you guys, man. Psalms 50:20. It says, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thy own mother's son. Verse 21. These things has thou done, and I kept silent. See? They slandering the mother's son. Jacob, Esau representing these Caucasian race, Edomites. Jacob, you 12 tribes of Israel, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. He slander us. He go to the Most High. Look at them. They thugs. They cribs. They on drugs. All right? They're politicians. They're the LGBT. Right? The Most High, he says, he says, because he's the one that put the bottle to us and hit his hand. It says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silent. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them order before thy eyes. And this is where you have the elect coming in, that remnant that the Most High left over, right? Let me get another scripture. Ecclesiastes 8:11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully setting them to do evil. Right? It's fully setting this man to do evil. It's not executed speedily. That's why in that article it says, well, he's an unapologetic impunity that he has. Right? That shows you that that's America's current sense. They're not vulnerable. Their invulnerability, right? It reflects the prophetic times and prophetic warnings, right? You look what you got, a nation that's prosperous. They're very prosperous, right? This nation, this old wealthy nation, so much land, and they can, stop world hunger with just 3 or 4 Edomites of the elites. But they're spiritually blind. That believing, that's untouchable for them. They can't even touch it. They can't even see believing, right? And they got division. The Egyptians against the Egyptians, right? You can see that today in the political way, right? Like we said earlier, left wing versus right wing. One blame the other for the nation issues, right? But they all contribute to that same systematic decay that's happening. They all are playing parts of it. One is poison from one snake, and the next is another skin poison from the next. You can't touch the snake, and the snake bites you. Both is poison. But what does that do? It weakens the nation. That also mirrors ancient prophecy. All right. Let's go into some judgment right here. What's supposed to happen to this place, man? We're gonna close it out. Job 27:13. This is the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. Verse 14, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. So don't worry. This is why we're not worried. This is why we calm. We know that if he multiplied, we know if he gets his plans, delusional plans done that he think he's doing, the Most High is really setting him up to fall. And he multiplies, it's for the sword. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his windows shall not weep. Right? Self-explanatory. Verse 16. Though he heap up silver as dust, and prepare remnant as clay. Verse 17. He may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. Yeah, you are a task boy. Gather everything up for us. Store up all the gold and the silver and the minerals and all the resources. Put it in one spot, man. We don't feel like going and look for it. You gather all that up thinking that you're doing something. It's for the just. Verse 18. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as the booth that the keeper maketh. Verse 19. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. Terror take hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'll finish it off. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departed. China got a nuclear missile called the east wind. And as a storm hurleth him out of his place. Verse 22, for the Most High shall cast upon him, and spare not. He would fain flee out of his hand. Verse man, men shall clap their hands at him and shall hiss him out of his place. The most hated, vagabond, Esau, Cain, Satan. Oh man. Let me see if I had any other articles I wanted to bring out. Yeah, that's about it. Now I had some things I wrote down so you people can write, and there's a few more scriptures, but let's write this down. Like modern signs of warnings, right? All you got to do is understand the economic warning, right? That's happening. You got layoffs, unemployment, but that echoes Isaiah's vision, right, of a broken labor system. You got leadership warning, right? We went into that. We went into leadership warning, which is institutional failure and poor counsel, mirroring what? The warnings of Isaiah 19 as well, right? In many different scriptures that we've seen. The vision warning, right? That shows you the conflict and social strife reflects Egypt fighting against itself. Egypt being Egypt. Egypt being Egypt. That's division warning. These are all signs that we're looking at. Now you got pride and impunity warnings, like that article said. The accountability power, intoxicated by pride, recalls that Babylon is like that golden cup, that she hasn't been touched. That's what that shows to, right? Now, let's show you where, let me see. Let me see if I got something else. Close it out with. Book of Daniel. That shows you what pride does, right? Daniel 5:23. It says, but has lifted, it says, verse 22, and thou his son, O Belshazzar, has not humbled thy heart, though thou knewest all this, but has lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords and thy wives and thy concubines have drunk wine in them, and thou hast praised the gods of silver and gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the God in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, hast thou not glorified. Right? Showing you what? That this is why this place is going to be finished, because this is exactly what they do, right? That's how you know this place is Babylon. Then was there part of the hand sent from him, a writing written. I'm going to jump down to verse 26. This is the interpretation of a thing. Nay, the Most High have numbered thy kingdom and finished it. So this place has been numbered and it's going to be finished. The pride and them declaring idols as gods, you know, which we don't do that, man. It's Wisdom of Solomon 5:16, I believe. I start at 15. But the righteous live forevermore. Their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High. And this is why we sit and trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Right? Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them and protect them. And with his arm shall he protect them. That's what's coming with us. He shall take him, he shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. All right. I'm going to go to 14. It says, for the hope of the ungodly is like dust that is blown away with the wind. like a thin forth that is driven away with the storm, like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest, and passeth away as the remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day. All right, so this is why we're not worried, and we trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We trust in the Most High's word. You have to, man. You got to trust in the Lord's word. Right? Let's finish it off with Sirach. Well, 2 more scriptures. Sirach 10 and 10. It says, the physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. That's why you can't be proud. The Most High have you in rulership now, and you're going to die. Verse 12, the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his maker. Well, this man was never with the Most High. But you can see that's why you don't follow after his footsteps. All right? You don't follow after his footsteps. Today he's here, and then tomorrow he's going to die. Proverbs 4 and 7. For ye have provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not God. Verse 8, ye have forgotten the everlasting God that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. I brought that out to show, we're starting at 6, Baruch 4 and 6. It says, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath, ye were delivered unto your enemies. Therefore, this is why America is Egypt. This is why we face the things that we face now, because we wanted to follow against what the Most High said, and we wanted to follow these other nations. So, best thing to do is repent, come back, you know? Repent and come back. You know, Lord willing, this was edifying, right? Lord willing, you can see the modern evidence that we put out, the symbolic, analysts that we put out through our apostles, right? To provide you with education, awareness, right? With prophetic exposure, right? We showing you America's spiritual and societal decline, right? Through the scriptures, through articles, through events. So, with that being said, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim does the bonds, the apostles, the great millstone of the well, special citations to the hope of your elect, by Yahweh, the house of David, to scatter Israelites, scatter across the four corners of the globe. Shalom to the priests and elders, simply great camp. Shalom.